Assalamu alaikum all. Welcome to Dubai Healthcare City Authority participation in Arab Health 2021, where our theme for the year is research and innovation. And I can't think of a better guest to kick off our Thought Leaders series that will happen over the next 4 days than Dr. Zakaullah Khan. Dr. Zaka is the Senior Corporate Medical Director for Mediclinic Middle East in the UAE. He is a champion for quality strategy and ensures the delivery of continuous quality improvement to provide the best and most effective patient-centered services across the healthcare system. Dr. Zaka earned his FRCS in trauma and orthopedics from the Royal College of Surgeons and Physicians of Glasgow and an MBA from Strathclyde Business School in the UK. He has achieved numerous accomplishments, the latest of which is the JCI accreditation of 7 hospitals and 22 clinics in one go. He has also successfully developed the research program at Mediclinic Middle East and introduced the Mediclinic Middle East Research Conference. He also chairs the Mediclinic International Group Research Committee and serves on the Department of Health Quality Advisory Committee. Quite an impressive resume, Dr. Zaka. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I know that Mediclinic Middle East is a large group of private hospitals, but if you can tell us more about your branch in Dubai Healthcare City, Mediclinic City Hospital, when it started, what are your milestones so far?
Right, so Mediclinic City Hospital,
Yes.
which is just opposite your
Yes, we're
your building,
neighbors.
yes,
Yes.
was started in 2008.
Yes.
When Mediclinic took over. Since then, it's actually grown up into a tertiary care hospital,
Yes.
which serves the community of Dubai.
Yes.
And we've added another wing, which is the North Wing, which is the Center of Excellence for Cancer.
Yes.
Very popular and one of the most well-equipped.
Very, very proud of to have that in
Absolutely,
Dubai Healthcare
yes.
City. Yes.
Yes, and it's also a very big research hub for us as well.
Yes.
So City Hospital has achieved quite a lot, and we've added a lot of services there, robotics, cancer, a lot of other services are also coming in. So yeah, I mean, it is it's still the flagship hospital of Mediclinic Middle East.
Wonderful. Mediclinic City Hospital is actually the highest producer of research in Dubai Healthcare City, and the studies range from retrospective chart reviews and maybe survey-based questionnaires to phase 3 clinical trials. How did Mediclinic City Hospital manage to become a premier research site in Dubai Healthcare City and Dubai in general?
Yeah, so research-wise, we're very proud of City Hospital. I think it all started off with a research project that was started in oncology.
Yes.
And at that time, it was only limited to City Hospital.
Yes.
In 2016, when Mediclinic merged with Anur Group, we actually started the Research and Ethics Committee. The IRB
Yes.
was established at that time, and we took the research more seriously, and we incorporated this into the corporate workflow. And since then, we've actually never looked back. So we then, for a couple of years after the IRB was working, and with collaboration, obviously, with MBRU and DHA and DOH, we've then added the Research Advisory Group.
Mm-hmm.
So these are a group of people who are volunteers who actually promote research within the whole of the organization.
Yes.
And that's how we've actually managed to grow research and awareness. And this year, we had a very successful 2-day research conference in
Yes.
Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
It was our 4th one,
Yes.
and it was a first hybrid event. We had about 500 delegates.
Wow.
From about 20 different countries. So we're very proud of what we have achieved in research.
Wonderful.
And City is leading it.
Wonderful. I personally, as the person who regulates the research activities in DHCC, I want to give a shout out to your research team. They are very well organized. They are always on top of things. There is a sense of collaboration rather than, let's say, maybe entitlement, which is wonderful because we are here for the betterment of the society and patients and research subjects and to protect them and protect their rights. Research is on the rise in the UAE. So, what tips would you give aspiring research sites in Dubai?
Just to touch base on the research office first.
Yes.
So, I know that Rakshanda and Zainab both work very, very closely, not only with you but with the PIs as well,
Yes.
and the pharma companies. And I think they have done a wonderful job. So,
Yes.
if you actually look at the number of studies that we had a year ago and the number of studies that we have now,
Yeah.
they've almost doubled. Um, and it's also credit to you guys and your IRB. As I've said it many times, you're regulator, but at the same time you help us create those studies. So it's not like, no, we're not approving it. It's like, you need to make these changes or these changes, and then we
Yes.
will reconsider it.
Yes,
Which is
I think since I think I took over in 2018, we've only rejected one study.
correct.
That's it, and it was because the PI wasn't responding, and that's it.
Yes.
Among all the studies, that's it. So yeah, that is the general approach: is
Yeah.
make things easier, push for research, guide PIs where they need guidance.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the economic aspect of research that maybe not a lot of people are aware of, and a lot of people may think that research is costly, but there is also revenue that can come back to the research site from clinical trials and research studies.
Yeah, it was maybe a few years ago. This was a taboo to
Yes.
say that,
Yes.
because it was like, I do research for the you know for the noble cause. Yes, we all do research for the
Yes.
noble cause, but there are there is revenue attached to it.
Yes.
The pharma companies have got huge budgets on R&D, and they spend those budget for the betterment of the humanity, and a bit of this, if that is actually contributed to the people who do the research, is not wasted money. So yes, we at the moment, I mean, we're right in the beginning of our journey. So we do collaborate on multi-center trials.
Yes.
We do collaborate with a lot of pharma companies, and we do compensate the people who actually work in the research, the coordinators and everybody else. And if the money is then spared, we actually sort of try and spend that to promote other homegrown researches, which also requires money.
Definitely.
So you can definitely self-sustain, and the new buzzword is obviously, it is economically very, very viable.
Yes.
It is actually potentially maybe even
Why not? I mean, as long as everything is declared, there is no conflict of interest, ethically and regulatory. There's no issue, and like you said, it becomes a self-sustaining business model
Absolutely.
that only serves to propagate even more and more research.
Correct.
Yes.
And the model that we have actually in Mediclinic is very robust. So our finances are completely separate from the research ethics committee or the research office. The research office looks after it, but the fund is actually kept in the name of the chief clinical officer, and there's a proper delegation of authority. He's the one who actually sort of overlooks the funds. We have no access to it otherwise, so it's a very clean, and it's presented in a proper budget. There is an overview of it. Anybody can ask any time,
Wonderful.
where the money is being spent.
That's actually used to be one of the main complaints of pharmaceutical companies or clinical research organizations who approach research sites and they don't know who to talk to. Legal team doesn't know about what finance is doing, and vice versa. So having a dedicated research team with its own operations and finances must make things a lot more streamlined and easier.
That's the first thing that we actually did when we started the research office.
Yes.
Is we've got a proper process where the research application comes to research office, then it actually goes to the legal. When it signs off by the legal, then it actually goes to the finance.
Yes.
They have a look at it, and when everybody is in agreement, then it's signed off and
Yes.
it becomes a project.
Yes.
So the processes are very robust. They're there for anybody to view. It's very, very transparent, open.
Yes. You mentioned that you have an advisory board that tries to encourage research among your doctors. How do you do that exactly?
So this was a the journey towards where we're going to land up. In the end, we created a research. I used to call it research and ethics committee.
Yes.
Because these guys were looking at the ethics, research ethics, but they were also advising on
The
the
scientific design
scientific, yes.
and yes.
So our aim was basically um, to separate this committee of research ethics so that they have no influence whatsoever on the research that is coming in. We've successfully done that now. So in our IRB, we have people from the community, we have people from the legal, we have people from MBRU, from the teaching cadre. And then to promote research, we actually try to get hold of the people who are senior in the organization,
Yes.
who have done research before. And every cluster, because we operate in 8 clusters,
Okay.
so every cluster has got one advisor. Myself and Rakshanda, we're part of that group. And then we've got advisors also from like physiotherapy, dentistry, radiology.
Yes.
And if a PI wants to have a research, has got an idea that he doesn't know, because majority of the time we've got ideas,
Yes.
but they don't go anywhere.
Yes.
They can go to these advisors,
Yes.
and they sit with them, and then they tell them, this is how you need to do it, how to write the protocol, how to submit it.
Sounds wonderful, honestly.
Yeah, so
yes.
it is a very advisory group. Let's put it that way.
Yes, wonderful. I hear that there is a wonderful new project on the horizon for Mediclinic and research specifically. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, for City, we've been working on the Oncology Research Center for some time now.
Yes.
I hope it becomes a reality, hopefully by the end of this year, which is our timeline. So this will be hopefully based on the 4th floor. Dr. Shahina, who is our oncology
She must
research.
be very excited.
Absolutely,
One
absolutely.
of the most passionate people I've ever met when it comes to research.
Absolutely.
And just trying to get the latest products and treatment modalities for her patients. Wonderful.
No,
wonderful.
absolutely, and she's instrumental in the research in oncology. She brings in all original ideas. She's very well written and very well thought of in the research world. So we hopefully will have a research center over there. Our aim is basically to start it off with Dr. Shahina and the coordinators, and we'll help them out.
And it will be dedicated to cancer?
It's going to be oncology, yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
There is lack of dedicated research sites.
Correct.
In the region, and that hinders early phase clinical trials. So that's wonderful news, I think, for a lot of stakeholders, for most of which are the patients themselves.
Yeah.
Moving to your partnership with MBRU, Mediclinic hosts undergraduate and graduate students in medicine, in nursing. Can you tell us more about that partnership?
So wonderful partnership with MBRU, and we are in the process of actually signing the new MOUs, hopefully in the near future. But from a research point of view, we have supervised almost 51 research projects for the students.
Yes, undergraduate
the mentors
students,
are
yes.
all from City Hospital, but we've also now got mentors that are in Parkview Hospital and in Wellcare Hospital.
Wonderful.
So it's spreading across the Dubai. And it's basically to give them opportunity to train, because this is the time that you actually train young researchers
Yes.
in the field of medicine.
Yes.
This is the exact time to for them to know how to write a research paper,
Yes.
how to think research, how to publish, how
To
to
break
write.
that barrier.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm approached by numerous people from different healthcare backgrounds who want to get into research, but they just don't know where to begin. So to have that experience in the undergraduate level is invaluable.
Yeah, and we
Really.
help them actually with the posters as well. So in our annual day, uh, they present, they compete with a lot of people. So
Wonderful.
as I told you, this year the conference was open to everybody.
Yes.
So they competed. There were actually four podium presentations
Yes.
that were from MBRU students,
Wow.
and were taken very well. So if they start competing at this level, you can imagine how they're going
Yes.
to be. We're building up. We're making mini Shahinas now, hopefully.
Yes.
So that there are plenty of them around.
Yes,
In the near future.
Agreed, definitely. There's no shortage of amazing minds in the UAE.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Have you seen, in your personal opinion, professional opinion, a shift in the culture of research, especially among the public? When it comes, there's always been this hesitation. I don't want to say lack of trust, but there's always this, again, psychological barrier of participating in research and having their data shared with like a research team. Do you feel that there is a change in that perception, in that attitude?
I think there was a change that was coming in anyway in
Yes.
the UAE, but the COVID has changed the whole landscape.
Accelerated it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We would never be
Agreed.
sitting here being vaccinated.
All activities were going down. Research
Absolutely.
was going up in COVID.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
now realize the power of research, because
Yes.
if it was not for research, we will be still in the olden ages where vaccine takes 10 years to come in, whatever. So the technology now, people believe in it. People will take part in
Yes.
it, and I
Yes.
think they've got more faith now in research.
Yes,
And
agreed.
that's what we are seeing now.
Agreed.
They're not reluctant. I mean, somehow it also depends upon the doctor who is actually, or the physician, how they articulate or give the message.
Yes.
But in general, I think the attitudes are completely changed.
That's good news, I guess, for research. Wonderful. So, what's next for Mediclinic City Hospital? What's on the horizon? What can we expect from you?
So, two new trials that Shahina is involved in.
Wonderful. Yes.
Again, in oncology. One is basically on screening of the ovarian cancer, and other has to do something with the treatment of the GI.
Yes.
So that is being collaborated between our two cancer centers, because we've got a cancer center now in Abu Dhabi as well, and Dr. Zulfikar leads that.
Yes.
So these are the two basically big things that are coming out, and then we've got we always have some mini projects that are there. I think we've got about 47 active projects still going.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. But I mean, these are the two big things.
Yes. My last question. How do you see the future of research and innovation in the UAE over the next 2 decades?
I think in general the next 2 decades are going to be wonderful for research. The amount of money that was spent in 2019 on research, although not quoted by a lot of the finance magazines and things like that, was colossal. It was roughly in the range of 1.3 billion or something like that. I think the next 20 years are going to be wonderful for research anyway, but for UAE it's going to be of particular interest. There's a lot of research being shifted away from the technically mature areas of research, because people see the value that they have for research.
Yes.
in UAE. So UAE is unique. I mean, the average age over here is around about 33. The absolute good age
The
to
demographic makeup
absolutely.
is as well. Yes.
And then we've got 200 nationalities.
Yes.
And we don't have hundreds of them. We've got thousands of them. We can actually test something very, very quickly on a very wide population.
Yes.
So I see a very, very good future for research in UAE, and I think if you are a researcher, that's where you should be in the next 20 years.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you all for attending this thought leader interview with myself and Dr. Zaka. Please join us in the next few days for even more insights from professionals in the field. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.